In the last video, we looked at how to create a stair, which you can see here on plan. In this video, we're now going to look at just putting in a few more features. We've got to put a door in here, a double door. We've got to put on dimensions for the internal sizes of the room. So this is the door here that we're going to draw just now. The doorway is going to be about 1750 opening. So we're going to create that here. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to polyline. And first of all, make sure you're on your doors layer here, or if you don't have one, just make one up now, doors layer. And then we're going to place our door, or the start of the door, approximately here, across 75, down 45, across 75, and up to the start, 45 again. And now we're going to draw a line to indicate the door opening of 1750. There's a couple of ways to do this, of course. You could do some sort of a shortcut, but this is the best way to learn for now. We're going to copy that, and we're going to make this the frame. This is going to be the frame here, and we're going to copy that down using this point here as our base point. Copy that down to the end of this line here. And we want to make this door meet in the middle, of course. And this gives us an indication of what we're working to. Just try that again. So we need to make sure that we've got a door, first of all, that goes from here to here. And if you half of 1750, you should get a dimension of 875. So that's going to be the size of our door leaf. So let's go ahead and draw that door leaf just now, and we'll go to polyline, and we're going to make it hinged on this point here. Okay, so we're going to bring it out by 875. And make it 40 millimeters thick. Back down to this point and then snap up to the start. Okay, so that's the door leaf that we've just drawn there, hinged against this frame here. And now we'll just do a very simple arc. Center, start, end. The center will be the hinge. The start will be here. And then this will indicate, this is the end point of your arc here. That will indicate the end of your arc. Now that means that you can take this out so that you can see what you're doing. And it's just a case of flipping that over using your mirror command. So we're going to do a green box from right to left, taking in all of these lines here. Enter to confirm the selection. And then we're going to make our axis this way. Then it says, do you want to erase the source objects? I want to say no. And now you've created a double door. Now you can take away this reference line. And now you can trim these two lines here. So you go to your trim command, hit enter straight away, and then just do a swipe across like that and like that. Okay. Now you could turn that into a block. Let's go ahead and do that. Block, enter. Just call it double door or anything that you want to. Click on pick point. I'm going to make the pick point here. And then it says select objects. So this little icon here. And I'm going to select every part of that, every part of that door, including the frame. In fact, we've taken part of the wall there, so we don't want to do that. Let's just bring that back a wee bit. Excuse me. Okay, so let's just do that again. Block, double door, pick point. The pick point's going to be here. Click on select objects. You can select every part of that door, picking out the frame here and this frame here. And then once you've finished that, hit enter to confirm the selection. That brings up the little thumbnail on the screen here. Make sure you don't have this ticked because you don't need to edit it just now. Click OK. And that now becomes a block. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to create some internal dimensions. Now in the previous video, we created some dimensions using our annotate tab. We use our dim125 style. So click on linear. And now we can start to do some basic internal dimensions. So from here to here, 975. Now at the moment I've got that on my door layer, which I shouldn't have, but if I wanted to change that, I can simply go into the Home tab, click on Match Properties, and I could match this property to this property. Okay. In any case, I want to be on my dims layer here. Back into annotate and just continue dimensioning the rest of this. Enter to bring back the previous command. So we're going to go from left to right here. Wall thickness. And just to give that a little bit of distinction, we'll move that over slightly. Just knock off my ortho setting here. Okay. Back into linear again and just finishing off the rest of these dimensions here. In the garage, we've already got our 97 frame here. Let's do this particular dimension here. Now, what I did before was I put this in as a 0.5. I'm not so keen on that. So what I'm going to do is just go back into my dimensions control here again. And I'm just going to modify that. And I'll just set that to 0. Close. And then that will round that figure up there. Get a dimension across here, which should be the same all the way along here. I could have a dimension running here because I want to set that stair line off. One along here. And I've already got this one here at 4715, so that's okay. Just going to finish off the outside dimensions. Every time I'm hitting enter to bring back the previous command, it just repeats the previous command by hitting enter. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some plasterboard on this frame here. And I just need to watch what I do with some of these particular doors. In fact, what I might do is just nudge that door slightly over to this point here. So what I need to do is double click on that block and then just edit that block slightly. Okay, so I've made this 95, but I want to make that 97. So I'm just going to stretch that slightly by 2 millimeters. So I'm going to go to, we're still on our block editor here. I'm going to go to home. Then I'm going to stretch from here up the way by 2 millimeters. Same over to the other side. Up the way by 2 millimeters. And then just to make sure that my base point is nailed properly, I'm going to make sure that that's going to be my base point here. Base point, make sure it's right on that corner. Close block editor. Save changes. And now you'll see that it's right on the button, basically. Okay. Just bring that back a little bit. And now we can put in some other features here. So we'll put in the plasterboard first of all. I'm going to make sure that I've got a plasterboard layer. I've got one here, but if you didn't have one, make that up and make it something similar to what I've got here. A kind of a magenta color. So that's now my current layer, plasterboard. And I'm going to offset each of these lines here by 12.5. It'll probably come to 13 when you see it, but the actual measurement will be 12.5. That's the thickness of plasterboard. So I'm going to offset. I'm going to put in 12.5, offset here, and offset here. So it's basically a clicking exercise. Now, at the moment you can see that it hasn't changed to the plasterboard layer. All I need to do is just click on these two and assign that to my plasterboard layer. Now, don't worry just now if none of the rest of them turn into this magenta color, because I'm going to show you how to change that quite soon once we get all these offset. Offset again by 12.5. Click upwards, click again, click downwards. Click here, click outwards, click here, click outwards. So we're clicking outwards all the time. For all of these walls. Now, when you get to a junction like this, the plasterer will plaster over the plasterboard, maybe with a skim, but for the time being, what we really want to show is that that follows all the way down like that. And again here. And for the purposes of what we have here, let's just do a very simple trace over this particular wall like that. And then we will offset by 12.5. It would have been better if I had made that a polyline, but we can join that together. Okay, polyline again. Just making sure everything is 12.5 away from the actual structural frame. Join. Okay, so all that is completely joined. Okay, so continue doing that all the way around each of the timber framed walls. When you get to bits like this here, you just have to fillet these. Just make sure your radius is 0. Fillet again. Offset again. And then you should get into a kind of a pattern or a rhythm on this. Just take that out. Okay, so all the way around, and then you'll notice here that these door frames are not quite meeting the plasterboard. Now, you could actually add a facing to your model here. What I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to make these frames a little bit bigger, just to indicate that that has got a nice neat junction here. What the joiner would do is have an architrave to cover where the plasterboard comes in, like that, you know. So I'm just going to double click on this, and I'm just going to make these, instead of making them 75, I'm going to make them actually 100. So I'm going to stretch this one a bit more. So I'm going to make it on this side, I'm going to make it 12.5. And I'm going to make this one here also 12.5. Okay, same again over here. Okay, and just to try and tidy that up a little bit, going to stretch this by 12.5 here. So you can keep going back, changing things as you go along, you know, just because you make a mistake, like I did, you know, you can always change things. And then close block editor, save the changes, and you'll see now that because that was previously 75 in here, like that. What I've done now is I've pushed it out here by 12.5 and here by 12.5. Okay, so that should take effect in all of the doors. Basically, automatically that block will change in all of the doors. Maybe not so there, but we can tidy that up as we go along. Okay, so we've got a little problem here. That's because we need to put on our plasterboard. Now, once you've got all of your lines offset by 12.5, you can do a number of things. You could click on Match Properties, select this object that you want to duplicate throughout all of these lines here, not the inner lines, but the outer lines. So click on this, and then you'll see a little paintbrush coming up, and then you can apply to all of the outer lines like that. So you can do that all the way around your model with your match properties. And we've still got to offset that. Okay, so tidying all of these up so that you get at least some idea of the thickness of plasterboard. Okay, let's go and change these so that they push out again by 12.5. We're going to stretch this one by 12.5 just to take account of the plasterboard thickness. And our base point is okay. Okay, so that just needs to be moved this way. Match properties. Again, just pulling back some of these slightly. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to stop it there because that pretty much takes care of things. Just got to do a wee bit more tidying up here, but you should get the idea once you go through this. Okay, and I'll see you in the next video.